What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Stand for Sports History for February 12th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Well, the NFL season is officially over. What a game. I'm not going to get on here and do everything that everybody thought I was going to do or thinks I'm going to do. Went down to the wire in overtime. What a game, though. Sucks for the Niners, and truthfully, I lied. I am going to do what everybody thinks I'm going to do. Couldn't happen to a better team the way that happened. And hopefully now all the trash talking and everything just ends. You guys could not get it done. Did not take advantage of the opportunities you had early in the game. And I think that was the difference, to be honest. We kept saying, my wife was like, the 49ers are going to win this game. There's no way they're going to lose the way they were playing there in the first quarter and even into the first half. And I said, I don't know. They're leaving them hanging around. And that's ultimately what happened. They did not take advantage of the opportunities they had early. Excuse me. Patrick Mahomes is good. And, I mean, you gave him a chance. And that ultimately that cost them the game. But, again, it was a good game. Overall, two good teams. I think for the season, maybe not – for the NFC, the 49ers definitely were the best team, I think, for the most part of the season. The Chiefs, the defense was playing outstanding when it came down to it. And you saw that yesterday. But overall, good game. Glad it's over. Now it's time to focus on the offseason, which the Eagles are going to have their work cut out for them. The news yesterday was, excuse me, they gave Hassan Reddick, and I apologize for my voice. I wasn't screaming, so I have no idea why it's going like this. Excuse me. But I guess Hassan Reddick wants to redo his contract. Howie basically told him to go seek a trade. So I don't know. It kind of came out midday yesterday, so not really sure what the details. I'll have to look into that. But I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of money to pay. And, I mean, Hassan Reddick is still an elite pass rusher. How that fits in with Vic Fangio's defense, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It could just be a power move by Reddick. Could be a power move by Howie. They could be both playing a game of chicken. Who knows? But more on that. And it should be, like I said, Super Bowl's over. It's time to start looking forward to next year now. And let's see what Howie has up his sleeve, because there definitely are some moves that need to be made. But this was kind of unexpected, and we'll see where it goes. I think at this point we need to trust Howie. But this could be. And I mean, to see Javon Hargrave yesterday making plays was just kind of like the pouring salt into the wounds a little bit. But that does lead us to today's question of the day. And then we're going to just kind of go out of order today because it's post-Super Bowl and there are no rules today. But speaking of no rules, everybody has to go to school. Everybody has to go back to work. But my question to you, should the day after the Super Bowl be a holiday? Obviously, everybody was partying yesterday. Excuse me. You had people watching the game that probably usually don't watch football. Lots of food, lots of drinks. Should today be a holiday where there's no work, no school? Let me know. 267-495-8531. Get you into the voice and text line. I was up and there was no chance I was going to the gym, working out, anything. I'll start fresh tomorrow, but it should be a holiday. So let me know what you think. Should the day after the Super Bowl be a holiday? We are going to go a little out of order because Super Bowl was over yesterday. The Chiefs became the first team since the 2004 Patriots to win back-to-back Super Bowls. And there's a Philly tie to both of those teams where the Patriots beat the Eagles for the second straight Super Bowl, or for their second Super Bowl. The Chiefs beat the Eagles for their first of back-to-back. And that leads us to today. We're not going to go back far. Just going back to this day last year, February 12th, 2023, was Super Bowl 57. 38-35, the Chiefs outdueled the Eagles. who had a 27-17 lead going into the fourth quarter. I still have yet to be able to watch any highlights or anything in this game, so this is the first time I'm really talking about it in depth. But it was the Kelsey Bowl, Jason versus Travis. And the Eagles pretty much dominated in the stats. Like, they had time of possession. They had more yards. It just wasn't meant to be. I think there's a couple key points that turned it. Obviously, the fumble that Jalen had early, they could have been up 3 scores at one point if it wasn't for that fumble. Kadarius Toney's punt return against typically good special teams for the Eagles, at least on coverage last year. But it was the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. Obviously, the Bradbury holding call, which was ticky-tack to call there. However, I'm not going to be like most people. It was a hold. Should it have been called? No. And then you had the issues with the field being slippery and everything like that, and the Eagles just having that dominant pass rush last year but not being able to get home. There were some records, which, again, I didn't know this until looking back at it because they've tried to – it still hurts to talk about it, no pun intended. But the Eagles did score the most points ever by a losing team in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts had the most rushing yards by a quarterback. Jake Elliott and Harrison Butker tied the record in this game for most touchbacks by a kicker with 6. Hurts on the day, 304 yards, 1 touchdown, 70 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. He was just outstanding. And that's, I think, the key here. We need to get that Hurts back. Devontae had 100 yards on 7 receptions, AJ 96 on 6 catches. But I've heard some people on Twitter throughout the week that went back and watched the replay of this Super Bowl just to see the Eagles' offense being able to click the way it should be. I have not gotten to that point yet. In fact, like I said, this is the first time I'm talking about it. However, I felt in honor of yesterday being Super Bowl 58, let's talk about Super Bowl 57, which happened on this day back in 2023, way back to last year. But 38-35, the Chiefs win their first of 2 straight. Finished the second straight yesterday. But Super Bowl 57 is just one of those ones that stings. Like, I feel like with Super Bowl 30, I wasn't old enough for Super Bowl 15 to remember it. But Super Bowl 39, I think just the fact that we got there, it stung, but it was the Patriots. Obviously, Super Bowl 52 when we won was amazing, but this one stings because I felt the Eagles were the best team in the NFL the entire year last year, and really had the game was there to be won. Like they didn't, like, they lost that game. There's no yes, I'm not taking anything away from the Chiefs, but the Eagles gave them that game. So that, I mean, it stings. But on this day, last year, the Eagles lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs 38-35 in a game which, quite frankly, they dominated and should have won. All right, let's go back to do some housekeeping now that we talked about the Super Bowl. Oh, the halftime show, too. I thought the halftime show was pretty good for Usher. Let me know what you think about that as well. Just get your end-of-the-year NFL rants or thoughts on 267-495-8531. But I didn't think it was too bad at all. But the question of the day, should today be a holiday because it's the day after the Super Bowl and everybody's going to be dragging and tired today? All right, quick housekeeping note from yesterday. I said that Jersey Joe Walcott took his name from a fighter from Barbados and added Joe Walcott and added Jersey so people could distinguish between the two. I don't know why I didn't put that. His first real name, given name, was Arnold Cream. So Jersey Joe Walcott sounds a lot better than Arnold Cream. So there you go. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mott. If you want your Girl Scout cookies, click the link in the description. Hook my girl Ella up. Just let it... She met her goal, but they're trying to go on this camping trip, so help her out and buy your Girl Scout cookies. One last thing with the Eagles, too. I did see, and the whole time he's been out in Vegas, apparently Jason Kelsey's been talking to networks about what to do. So it kind of leads me to believe that he is going to retire. I also would not be surprised that if after the Super Bowl parade, you see some sort of joint announcement from the Kelsey brothers and they both end up retiring. I know that Travis was talking about it, and with the whole Taylor Swift thing and all of that going on, wouldn't necessarily, like I said, wouldn't surprise me. And I think Jason was kind of waiting until the Chiefs season was over to not necessarily take the spotlight from Travis. So stay tuned for that. But apparently he was talking with Fox, ESPN, and I'm sure CBS and the others will be in there too. But I could see him being like, I don't know if I could see him in the booth. He might have to slowly get there, but I could see him being sort of like almost like a Tony Saragusa type guy on the sidelines and whatnot. But wish him the best with that. All right, Sixers in action tonight. Again, out in Cleveland. They have 2 more games to go before the All-Star break. No word on whether why can't I think of his name now? Kyle Lowry is going to play or not. No word on whether anybody's going to play yet or not. But big game for them tonight. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going heading into the All-Star break. Flyers are in action in the Wells Fargo Center against the Coyotes tonight. Again, another big game for them. They're looking to stay hot. They have that game coming up next week against the Devils up in MetLife Stadium. Should be a good time. Looking forward to that. It's always, I don't know why. I like seeing when hockey plays outside for some reason. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of cool. I know it's tough for basketball to do that because you got to take into account wind and things like that. But seeing hockey play outside is definitely fun. Couple more days until pitchers and catchers. Football season is over. It's time to turn that page and get ready for baseball. Phils are still being linked to a couple relievers and some things. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next day or two we see a move from Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies. You got to believe, though. Go to phillygoat.com. They have you covered for all of your Philly sports-based apparel. Go check out those Believe shirts, the ones the Phillies were wearing last year. Do you believe that Howie's going to get this team back on track for the Eagles? I feel like at this point we're back to that old-school Philadelphia mindset where we're believing. And I think we have some good foundations in place. So why not get a shirt that says I believe? Go to phillygoat.com. Check out everything they have. I mean, whether it's Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Union will be starting their season soon. Go check them out. And I mean, they have those amazing shoes for summer too. I cannot wait to pick up a few pair of those and just wear them around. And I have a feeling that they're going to catch on. Everybody's going to do it. But go to phillygoat.com. Check out their selection of Philly sports-based apparel. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery at checkout for 10% off of your order. All right, finally today, our Philly Sports Black History Spotlight. We're going to look at terrible Tim Witherspoon. And he was a South Philly heavyweight fighter who turned pro in 1979, quickly rose up the ranks, signing with Don King Promotions. He was one of Muhammad Ali's sparring partners. And actually, Ali was the one that gave him the nickname Terrible. Funny story, or I shouldn't say necessarily a funny story, but an interesting story that Witherspoon had said. Larry Holmes was one of the guys that beat Ali late in his career. And Witherspoon basically said that Ali was off even then when he would spar with him. He's like, I wouldn't punch him in the head. You could tell he was just something off. So he always kind of discredited Larry Holmes and said he didn't beat the real Muhammad Ali. I just thought that was interesting because everybody says that Ali near the end of his career, and I know my dad's a huge Ali guy, and so Witherspoon, who did spar with him, said he was just not the same guy late in his career like that. But speaking of Larry Holmes, it was one of the biggest fights of Witherspoon's career. Lost a very close split decision to Larry Holmes as he was climbing up the ranks, but he did beat Greg Page for the WBC title. Quickly lost that due to some issues he was having with Don King. Apparently, it was a distraction for him. A couple years later, he would beat Tony Tubbs for the WBA title before losing to James Bone Crusher Smith. Witherspoon did have a lengthy career, though. He fought until he was 45, compiled a record of 55, 13, and 1 with 38 knockouts. Only the third boxer, heavyweight, to be a two-time champion, albeit he was not the undisputed heavyweight champion, but he was only the third person to ever win the title twice. Floyd Patterson was the first, and then Muhammad Ali was the second. Witherspoon is in the Pennsylvania Boxing Hall of Fame as well as the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. One of the best heavyweights to come out of Philadelphia. And a lot of times he would always make the argument that he is a true, legitimate Philly fighter, even more so than Joe Frazier, because Frazier obviously was born in South Carolina and moved to Philly, where Tim Witherspoon was from South Philly. He even went so far as to say, like, he is he is Rocky. South Philly, knew the guys in the mob and things like that. But today's Philly Sports Black History Spotlight, terrible Tim Witherspoon, two-time heavyweight champion, only the third, or was the third to ever do it, twice behind Floyd Patterson and Muhammad Ali. But Hall of Famer for Pennsylvania as well as the city of Philadelphia. He's one of those guys, too. I was kind of doing some research on this. He's borderline a international boxing Hall of Famer. He's kind of that right there, not quite. And I think once you start talking about Halls of Fame, if you have any doubt about it, likely they're probably not a Hall of Famer. But on this day, back last year, the Eagles lost Super Bowl 57 to the Chiefs, 38-35. Yeah, that was painful to go through that. But be sure to let me know the question of the day, 267-495-8531. Should today be a holiday? Should we all be off of work today because it's the day after the Super Bowl? Let me know what your thoughts are on the Super Bowl. We can laugh at the 49ers' misery because they talked all that trash and then could not get it done when it mattered most. And like, you can say, oh, it was a close game. Yeah, we lost a close game too. You just did not take advantage of your opportunities you had. You should have blown that team out in the first half, but you didn't get it done. So let me know your thoughts on the Super Bowl, the halftime show, the commercials, whatever you want. 267-495-8531. I'm telling you, today should be a holiday. Hopefully we'll have more on the Hassan Reddick. Good luck to the Sixers and Flyers tonight. Do the Phillies have a move up their sleeves? We will find out soon. It's going to be a miserable day. There's some rain and snow coming tonight. Hopefully it's the last little bit of winter before we can get to the spring, because last week was nice being able to be outside and playing and doing all that stuff. But go have yourself some Monday. Hopefully you're not too hungover or too bloated or both. I know I should not have eaten a cheesesteak last night, but it was so good. Maybe they want to work something out with a sponsorship deal. I'm not going to give a free plug to it. But if you want to know where I got the cheesesteak, hit me up if you're in my area, because it actually is pretty good. But go have yourself some Monday. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.